Hey, welcome to the Ritchie Roundup. Everything, well, not everything, but something that I didn't have a chance to get to on the radio show that I just did. That's right. I am the new hardest working man in show business. Whew. What am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, so all night tonight, it's been pretty heated on the radio. If you missed any of my radio show, go back and listen to the entire podcast. You can do that. TJRitchie.com. You can follow on social media and all. However you're watching this now, you can get the podcast from tonight's show. I mean, it was heavy. It was pretty strong. I think a lot of stuff to be learned from tonight's TJ Ritchie show. Okay, but what I didn't have time to get to, still talking about the Carmelo Anthony case in Texas, where Carmelo Anthony, a black guy, stabbed and murdered a white guy at a high school track meet unprovoked. The evidence was presented and was proven beyond a reasonable doubt that Austin Metcalf was not the aggressor and that Carmelo Anthony was not acting in self-defense. He did not have he was not justified in whipping out a knife, stabbing Austin Metcalf in the chest, and murdering him. So he's been sentenced to the 35 years, could be getting out in 17, but I mean, he's going to go on appeal, the whole thing. So he may not ever serve any real prison time. But all of these just low IQ people who are coming out now and acting like Carmelo Anthony is the victim when he's the one that murdered Austin Metcalf. And so the protests continue, and you can look at these people, and these aren't even your typical protesters. These are like bottom of the barrel trash people. You know, they're all just rotten. Well, here's a guy who is threatening all white people in that area of Texas. Listen.
County, Dallas, Texas, Arlington, Grand Prairie, Irvin, Dalworth, Plano, Denton, Keller. It ain't safe for none of you white folks to come out this weekend. I'm giving y'all a fair warning right now. And guess what? It's going to be a bunch of outside that look like me. And we ain't out there with no pocket knives. We out there with these. I guarantee y'all going to pay for what that judge just did to Carmelo. If you don't believe me, bring y'all bold out this weekend and put on your Austin Metcalf shirts and see what happened to you.
You might want to be careful of what you're wishing for. You know, you're not throwing out that challenge and you're not causing all this in Connecticut. You're in Texas, bro. And you may regret talking that kind of crap. I'm just saying. For what that judge did to Carmelo Anthony, what he did. Okay. Here's the thing. If you believe what that type of defense is there, that type of argument, that Carmelo Anthony was just being him, you know, he was just doing his thing, and mean old white devil Austin Metcalf attacked him. So he had to, in fear for his life, he had to stab him and kill him. All right. So your way of thinking, if you think that way, is that because, like I said, it was proven beyond a reasonable doubt to the jury. And I know there were no black people on the jury. So obviously there was not proper representation. Where in the hell does it say that if you're black, you got to have black people on a jury or it's not fair? Why would you want black people on? Why are you so insistent on having black people on the jury? What's the reason for that? They had black people in the jury pool. The prosecution kicked them because they were either teachers, which is a conflict of interest since it happened at a school, or one of them actually said, I can't see myself voting to send a brother to jail. So he's got to go. He can't be on the jury. The town's 10% black. They had 3 black jurors. That's what happened. It doesn't matter. Facts don't matter in this situation. So that line of thinking that poor Carmelo Anthony had to defend himself. So you would have to come to the conclusion then, because it was proven beyond a reasonable doubt, let me say that again, that Austin Metcalf did not attack Carmelo Anthony. You would have to then assume that Carmelo Anthony was so terrified of that white boy that he was such a little bitch that he was so scared that that white boy was going to hurt him just by the way the white boy was talking and because the white boy was there. Carmelo Anthony was being a little bitch and had to stab him in the chest because he was scared of that white boy. That's what you're saying. Is Carmelo Anthony that? Was he a little frightened, scared, little bitch? Is that what it is? Scared of that white boy because all of the white people who gang up on innocent black people and beat them up and kill them and disappear their bodies and all of the stuff that people are claiming. Is that what happened? No. You know that's not what happened. Every witness said Carmelo Anthony challenged him. Touch me and find out what happens. Touch me and see what happens. So Carmelo Anthony was not some little innocent, scared little bitch, scared of the mean white man, because white people are so scary. No. He was a coward because he was just looking to bring that knife into the situation. Now, here's what I'm going to say. I bet if they would have fought toe to toe, Austin Metcalf would have beat his ass. Austin Metcalf would have beat his little ass. Sure. And I bet Carmelo Anthony wouldn't have been able to stand that. But he went in there 10 toes in when you're standing on business, looking for a fight. I wish a mutt would try to move me out of this tent. Austin Metcalf barely touched him. All the witnesses said that. Even the witnesses that were supposed to be for the defense said that. Yet this is what we get. People protesting. People following the Metcalf family out of the courtroom saying they're glad their son's dead, taunting them while they're standing in front of their car as they're trying to leave. Now some idiots, some demon group have a petition out trying to get Hunter Metcalf, his twin brother, arrested for his part in the assault against Carmelo Anthony. It's all ridiculous. And anybody with a brain knows the facts of the case showed exactly what the verdict was. That they got it exactly right. So you run around there in Texas and you start threatening everybody. And you may wish you hadn't have done it. Because like I said, this is not Connecticut. It's not New Hampshire, not Portland. We're talking about Texas. And I don't want to see all that violence in the street. I don't want to see all the race war going on. But it comes down to what is the truth in the case? And are you going to stand out there and continue to act like a lunatic just because you feel like the white people won? There's no winners in this situation. If you had a brain in your head, you would realize it. If you had just the slightest ability to rationalize a situation like this, you'd know there are no winners. Nobody won. Everybody lost. Dumbass. Everybody lost. Carmelo Anthony lost. His family lost. Austin Metcalf's family lost. The community lost. Everybody lost in this situation in a split-second decision made by a teenager has caused all of this uproar and all of this trauma. And for you to be standing out there, white people, come on out, we're going to get some of these. Just go away. You're making a fool of yourself. All of you that are doing that. All the race hustlers trying to get this going so you can line your pockets. Jasmine Crockett doing all that dumb crap she's doing. You're sick. Just despicable. All right, I got to go. I'm going to bed. Good night. I'll see you, I guess, tomorrow. Bye.